Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and this is the Element by Anasounds. The Element is a spring reverb pedal with an actual spring attached to it. Look at this cute little spring pan here. Of course, it's got the Anasounds engraved, laser etched bamboo topper and bottom there, so it looks good no matter how you mount it on your board or elsewhere. This is the smallest reverb pan that they provide with the Element. They also have a medium-sized pan and a really, really long pan. I chose this one when I was at NAMM because they had the medium one and the Le Bon here, the short one, available to test out. And I just thought this one sounded kind of crashier and trashier and splashier, you know, the different words that I like to have connected to my reverb sounds. The medium-sized tank was smoother and warmer and more amp-like, so that might be preferable for other people. I didn't get to try out the long one, so who knows what that sounds like. I'm assuming it sounds drippier, longer, you know, more saturated. I will be plugging in this Accutronics tank towards the end of this video to hear how the Element sounds with the same model pan that comes in those drippy, surfy Fender reverb units. This is the same model that's included in those. So we'll see how that sounds, but first let's go through the settings and sounds of the Element with its stock Le Bon spring unit here. Here is my dry signal. No reverb at all, and then here is the Element. Those springs, it feels so good to like actually push against physical springs with a reverb like that and feel them kind of crash around a little bit. You get these little artifacts that are unpredictable and just this bouncy nature to it that, you know, like a digital like recreation of a spring tank just can't do. I just nicked the table a little bit with my leg. And by the way, you can kick it and crash it too. All right, let's go through some of the settings of this thing. I'll show you how the knobs work. Put everything to noon here to demonstrate that. Here's the range of the out knob, which controls basically the length of the reverb trail. Of course, you turn it way down. I don't recommend that setting all the way off. I recommend turning it up. I like it all the way up. Here is the mix control. Obviously, this controls the mix between the dry signal on the left, nothing there, and the all the way wet signal on the right. There's a sweet spot somewhere right around here. Where you get like the maximum amount of like an edge of a drip with your dry signal mixed in. There's EQ controls, which are really nice. You can turn the highs all the way up and the lows all the way down for a super bright sound. Do the reverse for an all the way dark sound. And of course, all kinds of settings in between. like that kind of sound right there. A little bit of lows, a lot of highs. Bright and bouncy. Let's talk about this switch here. If you've really been listening, really been paying attention, you might hear when I dig in on the low strings, I get a little bit of crispiness on the edge. That's normal. That's an expected thing with a lot of spring reverb types of units, especially if you're pushing into surfy territory. You can hear a little bit of crispiness on the edge there. If you go and listen to like classic Dick Dale recordings, he just digs in so hard and he's pushing so hard against those Fender units that he actually pushes them into distortion. So that's kind of what's happening here. The signal going through the spring pan actually starts to distort a little bit when you push enough signal through. This switch maxes that out. It pushes it all the way into ridiculous distortion. It's a distorted reverb. It's pretty incredible. And from what I understand, that distortion is actually happening in the spring element of the circuit. I'm going to turn stuff down because it's pretty wild when you've got it maxed out on settings and then turn on that distortion. You can dial it back by pulling back the out mix, pulling back the mix in general. I think it's a really fun addition to this reverb concept, this nasty, bright, gritty distortion that you can't get from any other reverb as far as I'm aware. Just how hard it's pushed into that crispy fuzziness right there. The only way that I'd like to see this improved, if they ever do updates of this or other people explore this concept, is instead of having a switch, have some kind of knob so that you can blend in that distortion. I'd love to pull this back like 30-40% to get more clean signal coming through and just a little bit more control over that distortion. But I think it's a really fun concept. I think it's a really great sound, especially for players like me that are in pretty non-traditional surf rock bands. So that's pretty cool. Let's play out with that a little bit more, and then I'll swap in the Accutronics tank. All right, that is the Accutronics tank. This is the same model Reverb Pan that goes into those Fender units. Let's see how it sounds with the Anasounds Element. There's some good sounds in there. I feel like this pan really pushes it further into a surfy sort of voice. It's still nowhere near as drippy as a classic Fender unit, but this pedal's not really trying to do that. It's not trying to copy that circuit, so I don't think it's fair to expect it to. It's delivering more of like a twin reverb style in amp kind of reverb sound. I said reverb a bunch of times there. Still, that's plenty surfy. There's a lot of surfy voice to that. And if someone who was in a surf band needed that voicing without needing the over-the-top drip, they're not trying to like emulate that astronaut's bottom of a metal barrel sort of drip, this will get them there just fine. And the convenience of not having to deal with tubes, being able to mount this into your pedal board, hide even this Accutronics tank underneath your pedal board or something like that, or get the full-size tank from Anasounds. There's a picture of the size differences. I think it's a viable option, and you're getting some really great springy tones out of this. The long Anasounds tank, by the way, is a different model than this Accutronics tank I have here. You'll notice that it's a 3-spring model versus the 2 springs of this Accutronics tank. All right, let's mess around with this some more. I'll turn on that gritty, fuzzy reverb here. You know what? I'll explore the range of this a little bit more before I do that. Here's that fuzz. All right, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me nasty comments. If you have any questions about the Element, don't be afraid to ask. I'm gonna do some more videos with it in the future. I'll compare it to an actual Fender unit. I'll compare it to the Surfy Bear unit that I have. I'll compare it to, how about the Danelectro Spring King? Because that has springs in it too. I think it's gonna, hold up just fine against most of those. I don't think the Spring King will hold up very well against it. But I think this has a lot of promise. It has a lot of fun sounds locked up in it. I think someone's gonna get this pedal and they're gonna build a band around it, is what I think. All right, bye everybody. Oh, and stay grounded.